Hi everyone, it's Holly and I'm here with my December TBR, which I'm actually filming a little early, but whatever. So technically I will probably have read more books in December than this, but they'll just be in next month's TBR. Okay, so apparently I read 12 books, which I feel like is pretty good. I felt very ready this month and I read a ton of books that were on my TBR shelf, so that's always good, especially with the holidays. So first, I read Bitten by Kelley Armstrong, which was both on my fall TBR and on my 15 to read in 2015. And I just, even though I'd read about 150 pages of this before, I just started over from the beginning and read it. I gave it 4 stars. I read it a little slower than I wanted to, but at the same time that was kind of on purpose. Like, I was trying to slow down my reading during the week so I could get other stuff done. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good story. It's a paranormal werewolf, I guess fiction. There's definitely some romance in here, but it has a ton of paranormal elements. This is a really long series, and I do want to read it. I do like these characters, but I also really enjoy the show, so I think for now I'm just going to watch the TV show. I've been rewatching season 1, and then I'll watch season 2 because they're both on Netflix. I film in front of my bed, like, basically just so I can throw books back there. Next, I read Defy by Sarah Be Larson. I think this was like 99 cents or $1.99 around Black Friday or Cyber Monday or something. Like, Shannon from Leading Lights had written down like all the Kindle deals and posted them on Instagram, and I was so proud of myself because this is the only one I bought. I had been interested in this book for a while, and I follow Sarah B. Larson on Instagram, and she seems like a really cool lady. And if you know anything about me, basically if you seem like a cool person, I will check out your book because I just feel like supporting good people. This is like a fantasy young adult story. It's pretty cliche, like there's a love triangle, there's a girl pretending to be a boy. Which normally I'm not a big fan of that trope, which I think I've talked about before, but it worked. I do like the characters. It was a little predictable. The romance was a little insta-lovey for me, I guess. Also not a big fan of love triangles. I did give it 4 stars. I did enjoy it. I do want to continue on with the series. The 3rd and final book just came out this month. I'll probably either get all those ebooks or I will get them from the library because I'm not like must have them on my shelves right now. And then I read, where are you? Oblivion by Jennifer L. Armentrout, which I have this in physical copy, and in physical copy it is just obsidian from Damon's point of view, but apparently in the ebook version, you get obsidian, opal, and onyx, and opal and onyx I think are shorter. So I did end up buying it because I have like a million gift cards to Barnes & Noble, whatever. So these are only my thoughts on Obsidian. I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was a really solid book. I have no problems with these kinds of stories. I think if you don't like this kind of book, don't read this, where it's just the same story from another POV. I liked getting to see Damon's perspective on this time in the story, like before he really cared about Katie. And I liked getting to spend more time with the Luxon and everything. I thought it was a good addition to the series. And then I read Simply Irresistible by Jill Shalvis. This is a contemporary romance. It's kind of Christmassy. It's small town. I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was a very solid, good contemporary romance. It reads a lot like a romantic comedy, and it kind of reminded me why I like contemporary romance. Like, it's not always a genre I gravitate to because it doesn't always fulfill what I want from it, but this is definitely a good example. This is the first book in her Lucky Harbor series, which I know people love, and I do plan on checking it out some more. And then I read The Book of Ivy. I actually got this from the library. I gave it 4.5 stars. This was super popular last year. It's a dystopian duology, and I really enjoyed it. It's super fast paced. I really like Ivy. I personally think that Amy Engel did some different things with like tropes and like stock characters you see in dystopians, and I liked the romance. I thought it was very well paced, and I liked what she did with the dystopian elements. Liked it so much that while I was reading it, I had to stop at Barnes & Noble and pick up The Revolution of Ivy because I could not get this from the library, and now I'm gonna buy The Book of Ivy at some point so I can have these on my shelves. The Revolution of Ivy, I gave 4 stars. I thought it was still a very good book, but I like the first one just a little bit more. I know some people were disappointed with the conclusion to this. I thought it had a very good ending, especially as dystopians go, both in like the way the story was wrapped up and then the epilogue I enjoyed as well. I liked what happened to the characters here and how the things that happened to them impacted them as characters and the way they interacted with each other. So I liked it. I thought it was a very solid duology. And then I finished Persuasion, which was also on my fall TBR, and this I was just reading a chapter a night before I went to bed. This is a reread for me. This is my third time reading it, and it's my favorite Austen. I just absolutely love it, and I gave it 5 stars, of course. It's really hard for me to like give details why I like this. I really enjoy it, and I think it's a beautiful story. It's very calm and everything, but I like it, and the letter, amazing. I'm so glad I reread this. I read A Bollywood Affair by Sonali Dev. I think this might be like, I haven't hauled this yet, but I will soon. I got this as a used book, and maybe I did haul this. Now I can't remember what I did or not. This is a contemporary romance. The heroine is Indian, and she like studies abroad in America, and then the hero is half American, half Indian, but he was raised in India. And the heroine is in like an arranged marriage, and like legit were married as kids, but she's never really met her husband. And the hero is actually that guy's brother who comes to try and get her to like annul the marriage and everything. I had heard so much about this from the DBSA podcast, and oh my gosh, it's so good. I gave it 4 stars. It's not like the best book ever, but it was very good. I didn't think this was going to be sexual for some reason, but it definitely has sex scenes in it. I really liked the characters, especially the guy, what was his name? Samir. I really liked him. He was a lot cruder than I was expecting, but it doesn't bother me. I liked it in the end. And I like their story. She plays with tropes in here, like she plays into some and defies other. I just thought I heard a phone ringing, but like I don't have a phone. It's weird. Okay. Anyways, it was a very cute story. I cried at parts of it, and I definitely want to read more Sonali Dev. And again, she has been on the DBSA podcast, and she also seems like a really cool person, so you know. And she's the reason I read Robin York's books. Next, I read the Last Tex Hall book by Rachel Hawkins. I read Spellbound, and I gave this 4 stars. I thought it was very good. This had more of a return to Sophie being like very snarky, which, you know, I'm a fan of. And I did do a review of this series. It should be up, I don't know when it'll be up. I filmed a lot of reviews over Christmas because I had the whole week off. So, you know, it'll be up when it'll be up, okay? But I thought it was a very solid conclusion. There's still questions that I wish I had answers for, and like some world things. Like I think she did a very solid job with the world building, but there's some things I want more information on. But I was satisfied with the way that this ended. No. And then I read A Mackenzie Family Christmas by Jennifer Ashley, which is kind of like a novella that she self-published. It takes place after the 4th Mackenzie and McBride's novel. It's just a big Christmas compilation of all the couples in the Mackenzie series, and I love them, so of course I loved this. I gave it 5 stars. I write these kinds of stories different from other books where like this I fully intended to just like mindlessly entertain me. So like this 5-star read is different from some others, but it was still a very cute story. It was free. I read it on iBooks, and if you like Jennifer Ashley and the Mackenzies, I would definitely check it out. It has a little bit for all of the couples. And then I read Lisa Kleypas's Cold-Hearted Rake, which is her return to historical romances. It's the first in what I'm assuming is going to be like a 4-book series maybe. I don't know. I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was a very solid book. It had a ton of the things that are like typical Lisa Kleypas to me, like socioeconomic issues and stuff. It takes place later. It's not like a Regency book, and she reads some Victorians, which technically I guess this is, but it's 1875, which is a little late for me, but it was still very good. The heroine got on my nerves sometimes. Like I didn't like the way she treated the hero. Devon, sometimes she was a little cold-hearted, unnecessarily in my opinion, but I really liked him. In the end, she was fine. There's definitely some pretty heavy sequel bait in here, which I am excited about. The huge thing that bothered me about this, so the family name is Ravenel, and that's the series name too. And like, I don't know if anyone else watched Southern Charm on Bravo. It was a horrible show, but there was a guy in there and that was his last name, and he was like a politician who went to jail for just being like doing like selling cocaine and stuff, and I just thought of him every time, and I was like, oh. But it was a very good book. I'm excited to see her back, and I am very excited for the next book in the series, which should come out early next year. And then the last book I read, finally, was Chris by Marissa Meyer. And spoiler, I did get Winter for Christmas, but no promises that I'll read it soon. So I did finally read this. I gave it 4 stars. I did not reread Cinder and Scarlet before reading this, and I believe this was on my winter TBR, so go for me. I read this like the day after I posted that video. I thought this was a very good story. I liked it. I like that Marissa Meyer continues to tell the story of the characters we've met previously. I'm super invested in Cinder and Kai, and I don't know if you say is her name Eiko or Aiko, like the little robot. She is my favorite. Like, literally, I care so much about her and love her so much, and I fear for her life. Don't spoil me, like, don't spoil me, but I fear for her life just because I care about her that much. I did like Cress. I thought she was a very interesting character. I guessed some things about her and everything, but that's not that much of a surprise. And I liked Thorn. I liked him in Scarlet, so it wasn't a surprise, but I'm not like crazy for him the way some people are. Honestly, I would have to reread, but I think Cinder might be my favorite out of the series, even though a lot of people think Cress is their favorite, and that's fine. Have a favorite. That's okay. It's okay. I am excited to see how the series ends and see what happens. I'm definitely intrigued about the characters, and Levana gives me like the heebie-jeebies, so you know. That is my December wrap up. I'm sorry if this was like very very fast. I feel like I was talking super fast, but I only have so much room on my memory card. So yes, thank you so much for watching. If you have any comments or questions about any of these books, feel free to leave them down below. Bye!